And we're live on the Twitch.tv. That's the wrong one. / the Xisuma. Doing the live stream. Playing on the Hermitcraft. Bananas in chat from Hero Blender, Bear, I can't talk today apparently. The Cheese Eater and Lucaro, thank you for the bananas letting me know that we are indeed live. I was doing a little bit of redstone just before we get started on this stream. And that's what I'm going to be doing, just continuing with my redstone. But I've got a lever, right? It's turned on. It needs to power some stuff. Some redstone, that's what it needs to power. Anyway, you'll find out what it's for in just a moment. Today's stream is going to be a interesting one. We got some Minecraft grinding to do, as always. We've also got a guest in the chat with us today, Mr. Nembomb, YouTube extraordinaire with the incredible Minecraft contraptions, and now a Mojang developer as well. So we got royalty with us today. Yeah, Nembomb's here to just like gather some feedback about 1.20 from the community. So, you know, it's one of the special things about Minecraft is that we have a relationship with Mojang where they've had a history of being around the community, taking in suggestions, listening to feedback, and we've got a little bit of that going on directly here today. We're going to start off by just letting peeps tune in as I build this first contraption and get set up to expand our cactus farm. And then we'll dive into some discussion. I made a list of all the things in 1.20. All the big features, anyway. Like, all those little quality of life changes and stuff, like, I'm realizing, due to the new way the game's being developed, like, those are all things going into 1.19. So it's cool that some of those smaller things that don't really need to rely on a big content update are coming, but then I realised by the time 1.20 comes around, there's probably going to be a bunch of like other little tweaks and changes that one will be known for, so it's going to be a curious thing to see how it all plays out. Haley Camp says, howdy X. Howdy Haley. Welcome to the stream. We've got noises in the ear from Sulfuric Deity for 2 months with the Prime, and Aristoteleb here for 5 months. Hi X, really like the glow squid farm, awesome idea. Oh, that was something I was going to potentially amend. Let's put that on the list of things to do today. I had been looking at it and thinking there's a way to possibly make it technically a little bit faster, which doesn't really need to be, but also just aesthetically more easier to look at. There's like a flaw with how the glass renders that I think there might be a way to address. Okay, a couple of sticky pistons. I wonder if you can guess what I'm doing here, hey? Something like that. Fill it all in. Hook it all up. That is correct. That is what this thing here is for. Blocking off the beacon beams. And now we're going to go... Oh yeah, the way that I wanted to go down was actually like through the gap. Because I don't think I need to go... If I go back this way, I can't get out. Girls, good to see you in chat. Loving that farm. It's amazing. Yeah, it's such a cool idea, right? Really glad that I pursued that. I had that idea for a long time, I think. Really found my thing with playing on here as of late, and that was one of those projects that I wanted to do. See you later, Tango! So yeah, now that room is lit properly, and when I do that, now it's like look at this up here, yeah? Do this, then we'll go look again. Now it's darker up there, which is what I want. We'll have to adjust some lighting and stuff around there. But anyway, now that's got a purpose. And the next thing we're going to go do is work on the cactus farm. What am I going to need for that? Probably just shulker boxes to put stone into. We should probably collect some cobble as well. A little bit of a tidy up is in order. Second time I've caught an X stream and I have to leave in 20 minutes, says Slane. Dang. Sorry you're going to have to go, but thanks for tuning in. So who's hyped for Cherry Blossom, says Jackie O. the Wisp. Ah, maybe we should get into the discussions sooner than later. It would actually be smart for me just to get my bearings with where we're going. And what we need as well, actually, I'm going to need a bunch of cactus and sand. See, I've got to think ahead here. I've got to use my noggin. So we'll go grab cactus and sand, a couple of empty shulker boxes. What have we got over here, by the way? Sand. Bam. Take your time, says D-Rock. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm just... we got Nembom with us today, so I'm... You know, I don't want to keep Nembom waiting. I'll be happy to jump into the topic. I just like to have a moment to, you know, get into the groove, figure out what we're doing, let people tune in, all that kind of stuff. Because multitasking when you're streaming, you know, you're chatting, you're thinking about the game you're playing. It can be a little bit on the tricky side. We'll need tons of this. We'll pick some up while we're there, but to get going, we'll probably need a fair bit. You see, now my noggin is really getting let's press the buttons. My noggin's really getting going on what we actually need. Okay, that didn't quite work out. That was not what I was actually trying to do. That is what I was trying to do. So I can go cheaty as if I had a camera account on. Alright, I did this with stone brick walls. I was thinking glass panes. Well, that means I just have to collect less stuff. Then we need ice for water is probably the other thing that is very convenient. So, a couple rounds of that should do me good. Efo logged off. I should have shot Efo. I missed it, actually. I was hoping some of the hermits who have been playing the TCG would be around. We could do some card trading. I totally spaced on that. Alright, so from here, we want to make our way up. So, this water stream needs to go across this direction. How close is that? Pretty darn close. Probably going to need some scaffold, which I just put away. Nembom is Mojang crew? I'm not so up to date, says Cosmo B. Yeah. Yeah, Nembom is part of the Mojang crew. Mojang have expanded a lot in recent years. Like, there's a lot of people in the team. Gosh, I love that new base build of yours underground besides the skelly. Can't look at it enough. Do you mean just this area? It's cool, isn't it? I want to keep working on it, expanding it. I've just been thinking about like how I play this game a little bit lately, and like you got to be more immersed in the process. I feel like sometimes I get a little hyper focused on being productive with it, and lately it's just been like I want to spend time in my base just doing stuff, and I've been enjoying that. Right, so I feel like we're at the right height. Maybe one block too high. Now, the other side of that is water, right? Yeah, so somewhere around here, we're going to have the water stream also coming from this direction. Now, the question is, yeah, we need to go a little bit higher over here when we start building our cactus farms. Then we just need to think about scale. So I don't really have plans to do anything else. Like, this is all closed off because the mountain kind of closes itself off. If I expand in this direction with some water streams, we can't go as high. Potential downside to going that way. If I go in the opposite direction, it's... I think I might have deliberately left this... Oh, that's actually... Could have done with being a little bit further that way. It makes so much more sense to expand on this side and go up even higher. So what's the possibility of doing that? If I add an ice block there, that some cactus will just like land on it. I know that. So I kind of need the water stream to join background here. I know what to do. It's going to take me a minute to wrangle it. I think I can multitask now. Also, I don't need these to be perfectly evenly aligned. Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, if I don't perfectly align it, I could... Got to avoid that beacon beam, actually. I could come in from this side. No, so I'm going to be creating an awkward, wrangly... Oh, did I even... I can make compact ice on the go. Okay, right. I know what I'm doing now. Let's get the discussion going. Nembom has actually thrown a message in chat saying, from the larger features we have seen so far, what gets you most hyped so far, if anything? Okay, so we'll start from... Like, I've got my list over here of things to talk about today. We'll start with what is the most interesting to me personally. If you all in chat want to share any thoughts, I'm sure... Nembom we're looking out. Just looking over the list. You know, I think for me it's probably a tie between the camel and the bamboo block set. I really like the bamboo block set. It feels like a texture that many could have dreamed of because bamboo's been in the game for some time. It's a very satisfying set of textures, one that I think's going to help tell a story and be just all around a real good one to work with. And I think a lot of players will be excited. Also, when you're updating your world and stuff, you're potentially going to already have bamboo farms. So, it feels like a really smart thing to do. When I look at game development, which is something I'm interested in, I haven't done a crazy amount of it myself, but I've certainly spent fair bit of time, you know, watching videos about it and thinking about it and whatnot. I always like this idea of like overlapping features and trying to create depth to things through them being interlinked with one another, so you can kind of like interact with them in different ways from a Minecraft perspective, let's say. But with something like the bamboo block set, it's just this real simple case of like it's already a part of the game and now you're just giving it a whole other use. But I do think when adding a set of blocks, I wonder if this game at some point runs into a problem where, inventory clutter aside, will it run into a problem where when you give the players too many options, does the creativity dull down a little bit? So far, it feels like, you know, I read a lot of comments, it feels like some parts of the audience anticipate that for a long time, many years, and yet here we are in 2023, and 10 years ago we were hearing comments about this, you know, the World of Color update or something like that. So it seems to me like Minecraft is probably robust enough to support like a really large set of playable blocks. So I think the way that bamboo's been implemented is really good. I like it. The other one that I'm really excited for is the camel, because it's a two-player rideable mob, and that just opens up a whole new dynamic. We've had rideable mobs. They've been sort of underutilized by the Elytra. The Elytra's come along and really kind of unbalanced things, you could say, in terms of modes and methods of transport. And this one goes for a different angle. It's not about speed, it's about abilities. The way that you can use it to shield yourself from mobs and have a player join you on it, it's going to be great for making mini games, which is admittedly more of a community server type feature, but still a great thing nonetheless. And they look cool, and you know. Ryfrost says, according to Mojang, adding concrete slabs would be too much. Yes, I think there's a mistake on Mojang's behalf that anyone can make. It's a really easy thing to make. The longevity of the game, to me, suggests that it's probably not a good idea to like lay down concrete rules about where it should and shouldn't go, because the community just does not want to forget anything Mojang ever say, right? So it's no surprise that people will bring things like that up over and over again, and I don't think it's good for them to be tied down to that, because you should be able to change your mind about these things. Nembon says, I agree about Elytra renders obsolete many other ways of transport. It does, and I think it'd be worth like a good brainstorm session to think about how other types of transports could be given features that that make them more viable again. I feel like the minecart would probably be one of the easiest ones to buff, because it's already got this like layer of interaction with the world through hopper minecarts, and it would probably be easy to expand on that in some way. Maybe like automatic mounting and dismounting of the player would be a really good buff for it, because you could travel somewhere in the Elytra, but maybe sometimes you just want the game to take you there, right? You know, maybe it shoves you through another portal and then takes you on down a, you know, like an automated way to get to another farm. That could potentially be something to do it. So yeah, the camels, it's really nice. It's cute. I would like to see the game have more unique creatures added, like the sniffer. You know, ones that are not just pulled from the real world. That's the only like downside I see with the camel, really, is that it's a little bit boring in that dimension. But you know, it is what it is. What other features does the camel have? It's got the protection from the player. It can jump over bigger walls, right? And then it's got the 2-player riding, and I think that's the like majority of its sort of powerful attributes, if you like. Oh, I didn't make more than one compact ice for some reason. Yeet. Oh yeah, it can yeet. Yes, the camel can yeet. The dash. Not sure, like you got to get stuck in survival to really experience this stuff. That I would like an incentive to do that. Like, I tend to just cover what's in the snapshot and then don't really experience it until it comes to Hermitcraft. It would be nice to have another way to experience it, because I'm not really into speed running. I don't like playing in worlds for a short amount of time. I like playing in worlds for a long time, so it's kind of hard for me to like just fire up the game and play a bunch of survival with the camel or whatever. I need to find a way that works for me, is what I'm saying, to do that. Because that way you can learn so much more about the feature. Game needs mobs that are fantastical but also relevant to players from various backgrounds. Camel serves as a purpose of representation for a significant portion of players that were not yet represented. Yeah, I understand that. I think it's a line of thinking that is definitely good. It's no doubt it's not a bad thing, but it also people can push an opinion like that in the other direction a little bit, you know, like you can pull out all sorts of different examples of representation that Minecraft would struggle to air quotes represent, I guess. But it's for me, it's just one of those things where I don't have a strong opinion either way, really. For me, I'm more interested in like the gameplay aspect of it. Right, so I think we're going to go up there. No, you see it's too close to that one. I think maybe it just makes sense if I pick a spot somewhere around here and push it back in that direction. Having minecarts used for player transportation would be nice. I haven't used them since bubble elevators became a thing. You can use minecarts in bubble elevators, as we have done in our base. The Cheese Eater, thank you ever so much for 5 months of support. I can't wait to see people traversing the lands with hundreds of sniffers or hand looking for seeds. Yes, they've already been made pretty farmable. Like, if you look at how they work, you can sort of just put them in a pen and leave them there. Plays says the end update is around the corner. Thoughts X. It's not around the corner because there's no end date end update has been announced or anything like that. I don't know where you got that from. Not a clue. Getting a bit stuck here with the size of things. So yeah, I think where I've gone here is just about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Honestly, I'd like an update that would patch in what was missing in the most recent updates, says Hapless. Yeah, what is missing? I like we've had a bit of a fiasco with kind of, you know, over promising some features that Mojang have been kind of scaling back on. Well, not scaling back, like taking a new tact to how to like add things to the game now because of that. Right, if I want to expand in the future, I need that option. So over here is where we put our next sign. For some reason I decided I only wanted one. Let's grab that. Again, no, just put the signs in your inventory, dude. That's all you gotta do. Just put the signs in. You need to learn. I lost my train of thought a bit there. Ah, we're talking about things like fletching tables. Yeah, I really think it would be smart to round up some of these things. Let's just touch on something a little bit different for a moment. I was having a conversation with a friend just yesterday, and like there are things that you know, like, of course, that's obvious, right? But sometimes you just need it to hit your train of thought in a way that makes it really clear all of a sudden. And we were talking about like how much stick Mojang get from certain parts of the community. And then it just hit me like, what is the mental health like of being a Minecraft developer? Because when I read my comments, it's pretty draining to see some of the remarks aimed at Mojang from people that don't understand how modding, for example, works. And buy into this narrative that somehow Mojang are like really incompetent or something. And then I just thought, like, what is it like from their perspective for a moment? If we humanize when we say these things, you know, if we take a moment to think, okay, I'm going to say something critical, but who's listening to it? Like, I think we would change tact. We would be like, oh, hang on a second, we're talking about real people, right, with emotions and stuff. So, yeah, being a Mojang developer at times, I imagine you gotta have some thick skin. Because, like, there's some pretty ruthless commenters out there that just say a lot. And they're usually not the ones that actually make mods, right? Like, the modders tend to not be the ones saying that kind of stuff. Because the modders, guess what? They understand how modding works and how development works and how they're not the same thing. But, you know, ooh, going on a bit of a tangent here. The reason I mention it is just because we're talking about development and we've got a developer right here, you know? Any TCG today, says FX Soons. It's all possible. Ah, we got the noises in the air. I'm all distracted here. Bell on the T, thank you for 53 months. Daniel, 7101 with 53 as well. I think a good mentality when you look at nerfs in a game update is that they can nerf the game, but they cannot nerf me. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at there, my dude, but okay. Thank you so much for 53 months, Kristen, 1959. Thank you for 2. We got Crappy Toast here for 16, saying, I think that Minecraft was perfect from the start. I remember just digging into the ground and building a glass roof as a kid and being satisfied. Every new update brings new features that I really like, but at the same time, every update is also at risk of introducing features that aren't so great. Cough, Phantom. But for me, the new features don't take away from the beauty of Minecraft. I couldn't agree more with that sentiment, and I actually think it's one of the reasons that developing this game is so interesting, because I feel like its core genius is just like this unalterable thing right at the beginning of the game. And no matter how much you want to do various things with different aspects of the game, like exploration and PvP, and maybe redstone's one that can kind of be like interestedly expanded upon. You know, if you think over the years, like first it was pistons, then you've got like observers and honey and slime blocks. Like they've actually been like pretty game-changing features right there. But the beauty of the game, the core of it, is just it's there and it works, and it's kind of hard to really change much around that, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I don't think depending on how much you like how the terrain generates, I think exploration is one of those things where once you understand the game's quirks and what terrain looks like and stuff, unless you're a certain type of player, it kind of loses its spark after a certain amount of time. Yeah, like it feels like a lot of the aspects of the game aren't really actually like that deep, but it's just initial charm is like the real spark. And it's hard to like elaborate on that and really build it out, so to speak. Yeah, this looks like the spot. If we don't bump into that other cactus farm, this is where we're building this one. And then I've got to think about how I want to actually build it, like step by step and stuff. I mean, yes, the inventory does need addressing, says Curls of Doom. Yes, that's like one big thing I would say with this game. Absolutely need to rethink the inventory. That being said, I've taken a bit of a different tact lately and tried to be a bit more mindful, like, because I've spent a lot of time frustrated, and then I thought, well, it is how it is, like, what can I do to just interact with the inventory a little better? And thinking from that mindset has made me a little more organised and planned out lately, which has been helpful. It's made it feel like it's less of a problem, but I really do think that's another thing. But yeah, I think Nembomb's here for like 1.20 talk. So if we go through the list, we've touched on the camel. Well, we discussed the camel, and the bamboo blocks was another one that I brought up. I also put on that list though the raft. I feel like the raft should offer something different. I don't know what it would be. Maybe it can avoid, you know, the bubbles, like the magma blocks in the ocean pulling you down. I feel like that would be a very mild feature and maybe something that doesn't really even give, I don't know, mini gamers an advantage, for example. Like, there's not really a lot to do with that. But, I don't know, just, you know, it's slightly different than the boat. It'd be nice if it functioned different. I always like the variety in Minecraft, and I love it when there's, like, loads of options, and then the quirk of one block somewhere just makes this idea that you have possible. And it's cool that there's so many blocks and whatnot. They give you loads of options. So I like the idea of the raft just having a little something special going for it. Maybe it's slightly faster or has some sort of ability to traverse differently. Athenian Wizard, thank you ever so much for your 5 gifted subs to Hygiene Hund, Haskuda, Crazy Badatoms, Angel Witch, and Pluto Smith. Y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks in the chat. We always appreciate the gifting of the subs. Wicked X Smile, resubscribing for 8 months. Sleepy Skidders subscribing, and Brainy Scorpion 01 for 8 months. Possibly Raft works with Soul Sand Column. I think boats already work with the Soul Sand, right? Here's another message from Nembomb saying players chose the Phantom. Implementation was quite accurate as to what was promised. I'm not sure how much it was, but like I don't think that's like. I don't think that's like a, I don't know, what is the philosophy on changing features, right? Like, I think if Mojang overhauled the Phantom and made it something more interesting, I think generally that would be well received, right? I think just based on how the Minecraft audience is, I think if you give them a sort of, like, I know you're not saying this, but like, it's what you chose, it's your fault kind of answer. I don't think that goes down particularly well, given the nature of some of the negative voices in the community. But I think the problem with the mob vote stuff is that it's geared towards generating hype, but it has this problem of just giving the players a space in which to put their imagination into and therefore be disappointed. If I were in charge, I think the mob vote would just be an easy scrap for me. I would just say this doesn't work, because a lot of the community just, you know, gets upset about not getting their way, and then if you do get your way, there's also this slant of like, it might not be what you thought it was. And now that I think about it, like the last couple of mob votes have been actually, the mobs have been quite well articulated. Like the sniffer is very much like described, which is definitely better. But still, you're giving players an opportunity to imagine something, and they'll always imagine it being way better than it is, because the reality is any new mob, any new thing added into this game will do very little to really change it or like enhance the amazing quality that already is the game. So it's kind of like a recipe for disappointment as I see it, because players' imaginations will think like this will be the bee's knees, and generally not. That's again, all this stuff that I'm saying, talking in like absolute statements, it's just my impression based on reading comments and being someone covering the updates and seeing reactions to it, you know. I could be wrong, I could be right. Those are just my takes on it. Axe Brandy, thank you for the Prime. Also, Kukanai, probably butchered your name, thank you for 6 months. And Taz Tig for 6 months, saying your snapshot vids always renew my excitement for the game. Excited to jump back in. Awesome, glad to hear it. I really love making those videos. They're so much fun. Linksy, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Lovely Bees for 5 months. Lovely Bees, be sure to say thanks in the chat. To me, mob votes are one way to get the community involved. It sucks that a chunk of people will go overboard with it, says Iron Cappy. Yeah, you reminded me of one other point I would mention, is that vocal minorities, this term I have been focusing on a lot and thinking about, is if you think about it, like vocal minority, we're literally saying a minority of people that are being vocal. And so do they actually represent the broader audience? Because you have to, like, how do you judge how much of their opinion is represented by the broad audience? I have a feeling that, like, most people out there are just, like, cool with whatever. You know, hey, maybe I didn't really like that mob everyone voted for. It's cool, it's a mob vote, whatever. You know, most people are, like, just reasonable. And then it's, like, a smaller subset of people that get really vocal about why this thing is terrible and awful. And it gives your mind this sort of distorted understanding of what is actually the broader consensus. Because unless you get everyone to participate in the discussion, then those who are discussing loudly will have a greater say than those who aren't discussing. So there's always that. And considering how many people still play this game to this day, it's kind of obvious that in one way, you know, as passionate as we can be about what these new features mean for the game, none of them have killed the game, as some people like to say, right? You read that comment of like, this will destroy Minecraft, and it's like, yeah, and here we are 5 years later and everyone's still loving it. So yeah. The Black Ranger PL, thank you for 80 months. Wow, it's been ages since I've been here. How are you, X? I am good. Thanks for asking, my dude. I am enjoying this discussion. Oh, Polarium, yo, I checked your music blog and your Intergalactic review was quite a vibe. That album was very average. Yeah, it was. It had, like you said, it was quite a vibe. That record had a vibe that worked, right? Like you could just let it play, and yeah, that's cool. But then, like when you like really think about the tracks and all this kind of stuff, it's like it's a bit. There's not actually a lot here that stands out. But you know, I enjoyed the experience of listening to it. Nembomb says I was kind of kidding about the Phantom, but we are all aware of it being quite annoying. What about the newly introduced features that were not hinted? Trims, Cherry, Sniffer, or Archeology? Let's go through them. So I realised that you put Archeology into this list. I realised this when I was writing it down, because I'm probably gonna. I've got a feeling I'm gonna do a like critique video on Archeology. It feels to me like we're gonna have to see some really interesting stuff added to it. Otherwise, I would consider it to be a pretty weak addition. Yeah, again, maybe if I played it more, like I always have to like theorize of what it's like in survival a bit, because survival's quite time consuming that I play on here, but to me it was exciting to see it all at first, and then I thought about like, you know, going out there and interacting with the suspicious sand. And then I was thinking about like how it was first shown, because Archeology, although like it was kept quiet, it was actually first shown at Minecon 2020, right? And it actually, in my eyes, it looked way more interesting with the developer art, because those clay pots, the art on them looked interesting, and you know, a little bit of color in there and stuff as well. And the 4 designs that we've been shown at the moment they're all right, but just 4. It feels very slim. I do not see myself being motivated to go explore the world to get my hands on those 4 pottery shards at all. That might sound a bit harsh, that's just kind of how I feel, and I think I know why. It's because it's very shallow at its current introduction. I mean, the amount of designs you can make, sure, like you could say it's a lot because you can rotate the block and all of this, but it's just very, very light. There's not a lot you can do with those pots. I like the way you can put lots of items on top of them. That's something that you can do, and then make the pots look a little unique that way. But in terms of putting these designs on them, the designs don't say a lot, and the act of like, yeah, okay, you can craft a brush, it's not a big deal. You're at a desert temple, or you come across a well, grab your brush, you know, might get a pottery shard. I was thinking a little bit about what sort of ideas I propose to make that more exciting and interesting, and I really think what would be good is if there was actually a large range of designs to put on those pots, right? Colourful designs, things that are like unique. You know, like the paintings in Minecraft. They've been around for so long we kind of forget about them, but paintings are like quite colourful and interesting and provide some contrast and a lot of cool detail. This is what those pots should be doing, I think. They should be providing you something really quite colourful and decorative to put in your base. But as they currently stand, they're kind of dull, and there's only a couple of designs. So, haven't thought this through a lot, but this is kind of where my mind was going. I'm waiting to see the snapshots and see like where Mojang go with this. But I think what I would do is make it so that suspicious sand pretty much generates in every single biome, but it's like really rare, tricky to like deliberately find, and it's just something you're going to stumble across every now and then. And when you do, there should be a large variety of fragments that you can get for it, and all sorts of interesting patterns, maybe like almost like mini picturettes of the world, let's say, because you could theme it around the biome that you find it in, for example. And then that way, you have something quite unique feeling. All of a sudden, you've got this thing that's like really quite tricky to find. Like if you wanted to play a game of collect them all, I mean, just imagine every single biome in the game, and like it's not like you just go to the beach and find sand, or they're at a structure. It like maybe it just generates. Okay, this biome, let's say on average for every chunk has 10 blocks of sand in it or something. Not even one of those might be suspicious sand. You can make these things like really quite rare and just very unique and novel to stumble across, and then give yourself a really cool reward. That's kind of where my thinking was going with that idea. Because, yeah, the act at the moment is, you know, the 2 places you need to go visit. It's not going to be hard to find a desert. Go to the temple, go to this place. Then you're just going to wave your brush over the suspicious stuff, and then you're going to get these like dull pottery shards. To, you know, like, yeah, you can make a bunch of unique combinations or whatever, but it's not really that big a deal. That's kind of where my thinking is about that one. I saw that someone suggested finding the trim patterns also for the pots. I think it was on Twitter. Yeah, I think finding smithing templates through something like that would be interesting too, that kind of feature overlap. Let me read some chat. I'm still surprised there is no creeper design on the pots yet, considering they are de facto mascot of the game. Yeah, you know, like, but the creeper design turns up in other places. So I can kind of get you thinking like that would be an obvious one to go to. But the fact that it would be obvious to go to is maybe why they haven't, you know, put a little light on some other things in the game. Have you seen Cub's TCG Pyramid? Yeah, that's amazing. The clay pots themselves are more interesting than the shards. I prefer to be able to paint the thing rather than add a pattern. Yeah, I think some interaction with dye and painting them as well would also be really cool. But as honestly as they currently stand, it felt really disappointing. You know, like, it was all exciting to see it roll out, and then you turn on the thinking cap and it's like, I'm not too convinced about this one after all. I'd also use the pots without the shards, to be honest, says Curls. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you can make them without the shards is a good thing, because it makes them accessible, but, like, you're probably just going to make them, put them in your base. Let's say you're using a lot of them, you'll probably be like, oh, this is cool, I got a shard, that'll make it, you know, look a little bit more variety, a little bit more uniqueness or whatever. But generally, yeah, it's the shards ain't really doing it. I really like the first concept designs in the pots and the shards, says Sub to Mumbo. Yeah, me too, in comparison. Like, when I go back and look at it, it's like, that kind of looked more interesting at that stage, because it was a bit more colourful and whatnot. And then, I don't know, like, the new designs are just a bit sort of plain. Although when I first saw them, I did think, oh, they're really clean, and that's like a good way to do it. And then it was like, oh, there's only 4. Actually feels a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, moving on from that. So that's like, we've covered archaeology, suspicious sand, and decorative pots. Let's go to, I'm going to switch to standing. My bum is absolutely numb. I've had enough of sitting down. Let's go to the hanging signs. I feel like the hanging signs will be a quick one. Like, they're good. A few more shapes, not bad. It does take a little bit of the creativity away from how players discover, like, signs plus other blocks, make them look unique, but they're really well designed. They look good. They're Minecrafty. I don't think we can have any complaints. Maybe one bit of critique would be sort of inventory clutter and continuously adding more types of sign. Like, maybe it'd be nice to have one sign block and then have many different ways to place it. Again, a kind of inventory management issue where there are certain quirks in this game. How do you place blocks? Like, some blocks will you place them and they place based on what way you're facing, and then other blocks place based on which side of the block you just clicked on. It'd be nice to see, like, more consistency with stuff like that, and systems that are a little more I guess friendly on the inventory clutter. So, like, having one sign for all of them, I think would have been better. Like, you know, you place it, but you've got a variety of ways to manipulate that. Oh, so if you could place signs on chains and then it kind of transforms into a hanging sign, says Girls. That would make sense, because you can't actually place a sign underneath a chain or something like that. So the act of it accepting that and then changing it, yep. But I think it will require probably some change to the interface of the game, or the way in which you tell the game to place a block. You need, like, that extra layer of place this type or something. So I'm not sure if that's well, realistically that's not probably going to happen at this stage, but something maybe to consider for future features is, like, to avoid clutter, if you want to have more variations, like, can there not be ways to bring these new variations in without cluttering up the inventory and giving the player more placing options in the world? So yeah, that's hanging signs. Like I said, that would be a quick one. Note blocks and piglin heads I've got here. So the piglin head being added, that's cool. As you probably know, Nembom, here on Hermitcraft we have all the mob heads thanks to data packs, and I think it just adding a head every now and then is kind of cool. It feels like one of those things you could do every update. Like, every update should have maybe a painting, a new mob head, you know, so it slowly fills out. But like the question that arises is like, why the piglin head and why not other ones? And I guess maybe there doesn't really need to be an answer to that, you know. It's a bit more of a, well, you know, don't have to add them all, sure. But I don't know, I wonder like what's the long-term plan for that, because I think a lot of players just want to see more mob heads. And the functionality to link them up with the note block, really good. Lets players have so much more fun being able to manipulate certain game sounds. Really cool idea. Archeology is still a work in progress compared to the other features that were already released as 1.20 that feel more finished, says Nembomb. Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to like what the roadmap is right now, because it's not clear when 1.19.4 is going to drop. I'm sure there'll probably be an announcement before long. And then it's that now that like the last of the features for 1.20 have been revealed, which is what it feels like. Maybe there's still more stuff they're going to chuck in, but like now that we've seen these things, it kind of feels like how much more time is going to be put into this stuff, because clearly things like the biome have been held back to be released in a much more finished state. So yeah, it's got me wondering like how much more time is going to be spent on 1.20, because if the plan is to, you know, actively develop archaeology, it could potentially go a long way and do a lot better. And if that's what you're here for, some archaeology ideas, I really think, I mean, well, I've made my argument, but I haven't given it a crazy amount of thought, but I really think the act of making them just like rare collectibles, like in its current iteration, it doesn't feel like a thing to go seeking out. Oh, I really want to go collect those pottery shards. It doesn't have that. But maybe the act of just like occasionally finding a really cool unique pattern might just give it, you know, a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of fun. You stumble onto something unique and rare every now and then. It's like, oh cool, I've got this thing. I'll go make myself a pot and show off the design that I found, because you know, you could throw in like a lot of them if you wanted to, I guess. Archaeology does not have to be limited in one update. As time goes on, ancient relics and more dinosaurs can be added that can be themed with each new update, says Athenian Wizard. Yeah, I think if that's the way you want to do it, though, it's probably best to communicate that. Because I think in its current state, if it isn't developed much further, I think the general Minecraft audience won't be that impressed with it. But hey, that's just my take. We had some more noises in the year. We had Blue Bottle 77 for 77 months. Thank you so much, Blue Bottle. Derek55 is here for 4 months, and Curls gifted a sub to the Thinky. Thank you for gifting the sub, Curls. Appreciate you doing that as always. And the Thinky, be sure to say thanks in the chat. Crappy Toast says, I feel that archaeology could also be a good lead to a technology update to find ancient technology, for example, that can sort items in an easy way, get faster transport for items, players, etc. I don't know if tech as a theme really suits Minecraft, because Minecraft already has its sort of tech tree and elements of automation like redstone. I really think that stuff works very well as is. Okay, Piglin Head, cool. Note blocks, we like that. Chiseled bookshelf next. That's on my list. I think the chiseled bookshelf is pretty cool. There's not too much to say about it. It just works, right? Like, finally, people have been asking for it for years. You now got it. A bookshelf where you can manipulate the amount of books on it, right? In the exact positions. That's awesome. What I'm not so sure about is how the redstone works. It feels to me like, if I'm not mistaken, it's the act of changing a book that updates the redstone signal. But if I remember correctly, like taking all of the books in and putting them back out, you can kind of end up with this. I It'd be cool if I could just... I should just fire up a snapshot and... I'm not going to. I'm going to stay here in the Hermitcraft world, but... Yeah, fire up a world and remember it properly. But it's like... You can kind of like shimmy the redstone signal strength about a bit with it, but it's kind of like not obvious as to why that would be useful. And I haven't seen... Not that I pay close attention to what all the redstoners are doing. I haven't really seen someone point out a good use for that. There could be one, but it feels a bit odd. It feels like there might have been a better way to do this. I don't know what that would be, but you got some options there because you got a unique block that can have many different configurations of books. It remembers the last book that was interacted with, so it's a unique container that remembers its interaction state. Okay, I am going to fire up one now. I want to go think about... You made me think about it a little different. That it remembers its last state. Let's take a moment here to do that. I think that'll be a fun idea. So I'm just, in the background, going to go boot up a snapshot for us to hop into and check out the chiseled bookshelf. Yeah, everything else about that feature is just... It's great. It works. It's what people want. The texture's good. So all of that is awesome. Right, I think it's loaded up now. Gonna stand safely in this corner. Let's eat some food before we go AFK, right? And now I need to switch it over for all of you. Which should be a case of clicking this, clicking it again. Let me minimize that, see if it worked. Oh wait, I don't want to go multiplayer. We're going to this world. I don't think it worked. Oh, it did work. Oh wow, there's quite a long delay for me. Can it be pushed by a piston? I believe not, Blackjack. Huh, right. Oh! Sniff as you make loud noises. Chisel bookshelf. Book. A comparator. And some redstone. Let's go have a look. Probably why I have that in my inventory. You might notice the sound's quite loud on the snapshot world. That's because I want to capture sound events and stuff, you know. So it remembers the last slot you interacted with. So it just gave us a signal strength of 3. Why was that unexpected to me? Let's take that back out. And then it went... Did it change? 3. Need some lamps here. Ah! What was that noise? Oh, I did the wrong thing, didn't I? It's never that easy just to play with a block, is it? It's always got to be complicated. Oh gosh, what's... Hello? There we go. Yeah, like that. Sorry, but you lot are loud. Peeps, it's just a computer game. Calm down. Calm down. It's just a computer game. Let's see. So now it's got no blocks in it. Interesting. So if I put it in the 6th one, then it does that. It's quite literally just remembering, right? Like, now it's the 2nd, take it out. So the idea is like, whatever you last did. Okay, so now let's take that out. It's still that one. Now let's... That, okay, so that... Was that intuitive or not? Hang on. The last thing I did was that one. If I take it out, or put it in, it's just the last slot that I interacted with, right? When it updates. Yeah, so that goes down to 1. Then we'll get 5, 4, 6. Ah, okay. It was the way you worded it. Like I've read the description that it remembers the last slot, and it just didn't quite click. So it's like book in or book out. It's the last one that you're going to use with it. Use F3 to read the block state. Yeah, I'm aware of F3. What's this? Chisel bookshelf acts like you know input in this case. Signal strength proportional to its fullness would make it less unique compared to other containers. Yeah, no, I now get it. I now get it. I just, when I'd interacted with it, it like wasn't making sense to me what was going on. But when I read your message, I just had a feeling that maybe now I get it, and I do. So, if you had a full... What if I remove this, by the way? Like it... Oh, I expected that to come back into my inventory. Was that actually the last one that I placed? Let's try that again. Just want to mess around with this a little bit. So, like, the 5th one was the last one. Yeah, it does remember it like that. Okay, so... It might be a bit tricky. I'll have to think about this, but one of the problems with interacting with this in survival is like, what if you don't have a book? So let's say you default to taking a book out, like you want to detect the event. I guess you would perhaps leave it on a signal strength that wasn't the one you were looking for, and then when someone selects the thing you're looking for, you can do something with it. Yeah, that is actually quite unique. You've created like 6 different things, and obviously from here you could go with like a combo system of like put them in the right slot. You know, you've picked up some hints in this little game you're playing. 5, 3. What just happened there? I know what happened there. It's because I control clicked that. And okay, found a bug. Dem bomb, get on it. Fix it right now, young man. Oh, you better be coding all night. Right. I think that's enough of that. That was pretty fun to jump in here. Nembon says, now it's a component that makes it tamper-proof in a Minecrafty way. Ah, would you record if someone messed up with your books? If you remember all of their comparator outputs. Right, yeah. No, I like that. It's got me thinking about what you could potentially do with it. Yeah, alright, back to Hermitcraft. That was good fun. I now properly understand that and appreciate it more. That's cool. Chisel bookshelves.
Mr. Void!
Oh, God!
Hello?
Oh, dear Lord, there's voices in my head.
Come outside, I don't know how to get where you are.
What, are you on my hill? Where are you guys?
Yes.
Oh, God, you're on my hill.
I'm on your
Here's the
hill.
thing. I'll come outside. I'll come outside.
I am making my way there. Please,
Well, this is nice.
Oh, thank you.
It's dangerous. I almost fell in the snow a couple times already, but...
Oh, here we go, right, try not to die. Oh,
Oh, nice. Oh, so that's the way in and out, huh?
it is for now. What's going on,
Not
guys?
sketchy at all. Well, I mean, you mentioned something about you
Need some
wanted
parts.
some trades, possibly.
Oh, you guys coming over here to trade with me. My inventory is
Hey.
disgusting. Should we drop down onto the grass away
Let's
from
do
all of
that.
the snow? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Here's a good spot. Anywhere will do. Right.
All right, let's see what you got.
I mean, I'm
These
just
are blocks.
I am clearing out mess right here. Absolute mess. Okay, and then here's my card. So I got a bunch more hermits with my
Okay.
booster packs, and I got a bunch more item cards, and I'm thinking, oh, I can go somewhere with this. But the only thing is, I don't really have a lot of item cards, right? Like, I've got plenty of redstone. Just if I want to mix it with farm or terraform, I'm kind of low on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Farm
Yeah.
and terraform. You do have a single builder. You don't have any double builders. That's unfortunate.
Got to play more to get those, I guess.
Is this white box tradable cards?
These are just my what are we calling them? They're not item cards. Why can't I think of effect
cards?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have like a...
I mean, the ones on the top of this shulker box here,
Yeah,
I was thinking I'm probably not going to, use those.
I see. Okay. You do have a couple rare builder types down there, which I wouldn't mind getting a hold
Ooh.
of, but...
Like
that
the rare
random...
beef.
Or, well, I think I have a rare beef, that rare Ren Dog. I don't think I have one of those yet.
Well, I got no idea how valuable this is. Because it was a rare, I was like, well, I'll put it down there.
Yeah.
The rares are pretty valuable.
The rares are pretty valuable, yeah.
You got the B-dubs rare, beef rare, rendog rare.
And then you said you were looking for farm type and terraform?
Yeah, so I've got Scar, I've got Joe Hills, like basically Redstone Farm and Terraform. I've got like enough hermits of those to maybe push a deck in one of those directions.
Gotcha. In terms of offering you the items, I have 2 terraform and 2 farm that I can totally trade you. It just depends how much you value them, because I don't want to.
I don't know how valuable this card is, but I know that item cards are kind of like, you know, at some point you pick up a lot of these, right?
Yeah, if you're buying item packs for sure.
Yeah, maybe I should have brought one of those.
Okay. Let's see the rare. Okay.
Actually, if you want to play Terraform, I have 3 Terraform item cards that might help.
That would be helpful.
And then I have 2 more if you want more of those.
Yeah, what's it going to cost me though? Like, I'll part with this Rendog.
So okay, so would you do 2 terraform and 2 farm item cards for that Rendog?
I think you're going to have to sweeten the deal with like an effect card.
An effect card.
I've just got this feeling, you know, player mimics special move of the opposing active hermit. That sounds pretty strong, you know?
Okay, let me see what I have in terms of effect cards here. Do we have another shulker we can kind of throw these in? I should keep bringing shulkers with me.
I got a. Here's one. Here's one.
Fantastic.
There's 2.
Okay. So this is what I have. Tradable effect cards.
Ooh. I think the composter is one I've seen others using a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those do I have? That you're only able to put 3 in, aren't you? I've only got 1.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably just go with the composter. That caught my eye.
So composter and those item cards for that Rendog?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, done. I'll put the composter and the item cards in your chest here in I guess in Rendog's
So
place.
that's the trade. That Rendog for those. I want to know
Yes.
what my chat thinks of that. Was that a good trade,
I mean,
chat?
I think it's pretty decent, especially if you're not using the builder types.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. You know, I'd have to play a lot more games and get a lot more cards before I can start experimenting. So, works out.
Yeah, because I'm doing builder and miner, and I wanted to. There's like a weak Corrales in here that I'm trying to replace. So maybe the Rendog will be a little bit better. What are his stats
Is that
anyway?
Corrales the Terraform rare?
No, it's a common Corrales.
Oh,
that I
okay,
have.
because I got one
Yeah.
rare Corrales and it kind of looks like it might be a good one because it can heal an AFK
I think it
hermit.
is. Yeah.
X, I'll trade you the 3 Terraform cards, item cards for that speedrunner double, and I'll throw in a Scar Terraform common.
Let's see what else you got going with your. Oh my God, look at this! Look at this! Just
Oh my god.
how many games have you played?
I think about 30 or
lot.
so.
A
Which
lot.
is in here. There we go.
PvP hermits, miner hermits, balanced, explorer. Do you have some builders that maybe I could? Interesting. You got another false. I like the false card.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I tell you what, that is the crossbow in damage effects. That one, can't that shoot an AFK hermit?
For 10.
Yeah.
For 10 damage, yeah.
For 10 and then
The,
does like 40 on the main one.
Yeah, the bow shoots AFK hermits for 40.
Yeah, I've got a bow in here. The crossbow interests me. If you chuck in a crossbow, I'll go for that.
Crossbow too?
Yeah.
Look at wheeling and dealing, guys.
Making some good trades over here, I think.
We got to compete with Jevon somehow.
Okay. Yeah, X, let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you want to chuck them in here?
Yeah, so 3 Terraform, Scar, and let me get out the crossbow. There we go. For
That's
the
trade.
double speedrunner.
That's a trade.
Sweet. Cheers.
So
Happy
do I
doing
have
business
any
with ya.
cards with that?
Yeah.
I do have a dock redstone type if you're interested. Not rare though, just common.
I think I got enough redstoners here for my
And I
deck.
have like 2 of you, but common.
I got none of me now. I lost me. I lost
Oh,
myself.
really?
Yeah. Someone pinched it.
Okay.
What else are you thinking
Well,
then?
I'm not sure, but I know Cub, you're after speedrunner doubles?
Speedrunner doubles. Yep.
Well, guess what, buddy? There's one right there.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
What do you
in
got
here
for
you
trade?
might want to take a look?
Let's see here.
Are tokens allowed to be
Healing
traded?
effects. Yeah, you can probably. Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got 4 diamond sword cards. My goodness. Can I have the?
Looking for what?
Can I have the double builder for that double speedrunner?
I want to keep the double builder. I
Dang
want
it.
to keep the double builder. Yeah, because builder is one of my primary decks.
And you
pretty
don't have a
much.
double miner either. Redstone, terraform, farm, turn-based. Okay. I don't even know what to ask. You got so much going on over here.
Yeah,
True,
this is
true.
crazy amount of.
2 netherite swords in your
Gods.
main deck. My goodness.
Yeah, I want to keep those for sure. Yeah.
So, how about, I don't think I'm going to do much speed running. So, how about the double speed runner 4? I will take the diamond sword
Mhm.
damage effect card and not done yet.
Okay.
Possibly the diamond sword and another. Wait, how is my TNT go? Let me see here.
TNT's
Oh
a
no, I
good
already
one.
have
I like
3.
that.
I already have 3 of those.
I need me a third.
Let me see if I have builder hermits here that I can. Oh, you know what? I'll give you the double speedrunner for that builder Grian common,
Mhm.
the common Cleo,
Okay.
and the diamond sword, the diamond effect card.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh,
I'll do that.
Okay.
What did I just
Fantastic.
do? I think I just took items out of your healing
You
armor
may have.
effect. So does right-clicking on a bundle
it's-
pulls out.
The first thing in that list,
Huh.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, so that was Grian,
And then
Cleo.
I
Leo.
just forgot how to use bundles.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have.
definitely.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, you know what? Instead of the Grian, hold on, sorry. Because
No
I
worries.
just realized I have a Grian. Where is that? I
Is
need to
there
look
is
at
there
your
anything you want
Oh, yeah.
more
again.
from me, Beef?
Let me put it back.
I don't think so. By the way, there's a second fully automated arena now that
Oh,
Cub
I
built.
love it. I've seen it.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
it's
Cub, you did a
amazing.
great job on that.
Cheers, man. Yeah.
Wells. Oh. You got 1 false. Oh man, this is getting difficult. Just want to make sure I don't get
X, did you have a rare beef in your deck?
stress.
Let's have a look.
I think he does.
Oh, wait, I did just put them away, didn't I? Yeah, I got a rare beef, but it's one. Well, it's a builder type.
True.
I wanted to hold on to it to maybe like build that type of deck later, but I'm probably not going to build it anytime soon. So you're interested
Okay.
in that?
Yeah, I was wondering. I have a rare gem terraform type. in this deck over here.
That's a good. That sounds like a good trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll do the
Or there's
the-
also another rare Corrales, but you already have one of those, so maybe.
It might be worth stacking up. I don't know. Terra Hermits, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and again, if I use the bundle the way it's intended.
I'll take the stress and the Cleo, by the way. I don't have either of those for my build team.
The stress and the Cleo.
Yeah. And then the
See.
diamond effect card for that double speed runner.
Let me see the.
Excuse me.
If you put a few Coralises in your deck, you can probably drag out games a
okay.
bit more healing
do
and
that, Beef.
stuff. But does it also
Yes.
attack?
Cleo.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll do that. Gemini rare for beef rare.
Yep.
Rare beef.
Rare beef. Right here.
Rare beef.
Over here, Cub.
Oh, I think
It's yours.
is he- I think
yeah.
he's working on multiple
Good
deals
trade.
right now. He's wheeling and dealing.
Sweet. And then let's see. I'll give you beef.
Oh.
I'll throw these to you here.
Okay.
There's those two, and I'll get the Diamond sword too.
Right, good trade.
I want to collect all the builders.
Diamond sword. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet.
And now I have to
Good
go
trades,
meet
guys. Good trades.
Wells. Oh, don't forget your speedrunner
Wells!
double in here.
Is Wells?
Yeah,
Wells is on.
Wells wants to play.
All right,
He's gonna
yeah,
he's
thank
gonna
you.
learn. He's gonna
Oh,
learn right
man,
now.
that's
actually.
awesome.
Let's go.
Oh,
That's awesome.
say hello to Wells for me.
Will do.
I may come over there in a bit. I'm talking through 1.20. We got Nembom with us on my stream today, so we're
Oh,
going
nice.
through the 1.20 update. And,
That's your box cub.
Yep, got it. Thanks.
Do you have some firework rockets?
Yeah,
I
I'll
can
be over
borrow?
there later. I'll see
Yeah,
you
I got
guys.
some right here.
Okay,
Take
sounds
what
good.
you need out of there.
Awesome, thank you.
That was some good trading. Question is, which hole were we in? I think it was this one. Let's jump back in our cactus hole. Cactus hole. Sounds very wrong. Oh wait, did I? There's like a side, right? Cheeky cam time. That side. The right side, not the wrong side. Somehow just landed right at the edge. Right at the ledge. Okay then, let's get back into this. Let's get a crack in on this project. And Nembom, do we still have you with us? What's the rest of the 1.20 stuff? I've got it all down here. Armor trim. Armor trim. I think some of it... I mean, I made a whole video about that, so I probably won't go into it too deep. But I think some of the designs are really terrific, but the whole... in the big range of things that you can do, there's a lot of like combinations that are a bit on the naff side. And then when you consider how like precious armor can be in terms of like when you die and stuff, the expense of all that extra effort that you put into it, it feels like quite an end game player oriented thing. Like for the amount of effort and exploration and stuff that you have to put into it, I feel like it appeals more to the hardcore than the casual. And I'm not sure that... Well, you can certainly choose some good designs, right? But if you imagine the designs were like, let's say, random, I think there's a lot of them that don't look so good. And the way in which they're like a tack on over the top of the shape of the armor, to me, doesn't, like, I don't know, doesn't look so great. I think they could look a lot better if they changed the shape of the armor and they're a bit more unique. So, like, having seen the feature, it's great. Like, it's a really awesome idea, but if I were to think, like rethink and say, what do you go back to the drawing board and do this again? I think one of the things that really needs to be addressed is the aesthetic value of armor and the functional value, because you might want to make armor that, you know, uses leather and some of those color combinations, but it's really futile. Some of the best combinations you can make have the leather colors, because you can put ones that are more complementary to the material together, because like redstone in my opinion and diamond don't go together very well, whereas different shades of leather can go really well with the redstone. So like separating the aesthetic and the functional I think would have been really good for that. And then the shape of the armor, I think it perhaps would have been better to focus on exploration to find modifications that give you more of a finished configuration that's appealing. You know, like a little bit of trim and a little bit of shape. Maybe you can pick some color here and there. But because of the way it was just like pixels slapped on top of the existing armor, it kind of like limited what could have been, I think, a way more refined feature. Because there's like a lot of air quotes junk combinations, let's say, ones that just players just aren't going to pick. And if you do go and pick it, like, what happens when you die? Like, all that extra effort you have to put into your armor, and then it's gone, because it's really pricey. Like, you know, here on Hermitcraft, 7 diamonds ain't a thing, but... Ooh, for the average player, that's quite the investment. Alright, Nembom is still in chat. Exploration price you pay once, then you have access to it indefinitely. So in case of you losing it, you can go back to your set only paying the diamond price. Yeah, the diamond price is 7 times 4. That's 21. Right? It might not sound like a lot, but I think to some players it is. It maybe to those who are more, it appeals to more. Maybe more. I don't know who it appeals to more, but like, I feel like technical players, the sorts who can get stupid amounts of diamonds with, I don't know, tunnel bores, or just, you know, players like myself here on Hermitcraft that have a lot of time to grind and stuff. It's not quite as big deal. But for the average player, I can see like, especially if you die a lot, like some players die more than others. I don't die a lot, but someone like Scar does. And if you're losing your armor a lot and then you have to pay this additional 21 diamond tax, I really think it's pricey. And should be definitely cheaper. Anyway, at this state, you know, all these things that I'm suggesting are stuff like, I'm not surprised if they just, you know, it's this far into development, they can't be changed and stuff, but hopefully, like, some of these ideas are valuable in one way or another. Nembom says, that's why now more common patterns always appear in pairs. So when you use one, you realise they are consumed. Yes, that was a good change. That was a smart change, I think. You know, you get to, and if you happen to use one and it's been consumed, it's like, oh, hang on a minute. So yeah, I'm not sure what else I'd say about armor trim. Let's have a look at chat and see if there's any things. I disagree with you on limiting combinations, X. People might only use certain combinations, but having options to choose from your own preferences is good, says Psy Pirates. I sort of agree and disagree. Like, in some circumstances, I think a lot of choice and variety is really good. Like signs and being able to pick 16 different colors. But when, to my eyes, the armor, like, when a lot of those colors just look sort of tacky on top of the armor, like, is it really necessary? I guess is kind of how I think about it. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, if Mojang had data, like, once 1.20 is out and you could see, like, what players were doing. Like, imagine all the player base, right, and getting those statistics in and having, like, a graph of which templates are the most popular and then which colors used with them are the most popular. Like, I don't think that graph would have like an even distribution. I think there would be certain things that would pop out and quite possibly just influenced by availability. You know, maybe the ones from the Nether hardly get used. A lot of players don't like going to the Nether, so yeah. But you know, it's not the worst thing ever as well. Like, to me, the way it's implemented, I can think of a lot of ways I would choose to do it differently, but it's pretty cool, right? Armor trim is cool. At the end of the day, there might be a bunch of combinations you don't like the look of, but I'm probably going to be mixing netherite and quartz with that Vex template. That one looks seriously cool. Nembom says, current diamond armor is free because you can trade it from the villagers. The game lost the sync for diamonds. Armor trims are the first major sync beside jukeboxes. This is true, yeah. You know, it has been a thing. I do wonder though, for casual players, like how many of them do get into villager trading and go that far with it? Do they even realise? Statistics would really help with this decision making, right? Like, being from the technical community, I've noticed how, well, I say being from the technical community, like, that's my most, like, I'm really interested in the technical aspect of the game, but the way I play it, I'm a bit more just an all-rounder, right? But, like, I'm always looking at the game from, like, the farming perspective, and it's really easy just to think, like, that's the way most people play the game, because it's really not. And I've noticed sometimes the attitude in and around the technical community when, like, a farm gets nerfed or something, like, they don't realise that this is like quite a niche way of playing, really. I think it's something that a lot of people watch, but maybe not everyone plays that way. Zug says, I play first person single player. It's purely cosmetic. I have no use for trims. Very good point. If you're in single player, like, what's the point? Unless you like to play in a way where you'll have an armor stand, like an armory room, and you'll hang your armor up. And some players really like to do that. They like to sort of be more in the world in that way. That's not the way I play myself. I try to do it a little bit more. I try to be a little bit more engrossed in the environment and stuff. Like, because that's one of the fun things about base building, is that you spend a lot of time there and it sort of becomes like a home. But like, we don't always treat it like a home. And one of the things you can do if you want to treat it like a home is hang up your armor at the end of the day, you know, like put it on display. So you can play differently to that, but you know, I totally get your point. Dev Chimera says, another month, let's keep them going. Hope you and everyone is having a lovely day. And yes, I just woke up from my siesta and I finally catch the stream again. I feel like I should know what a siesta is. It sounds so familiar. Thank you, Dev. Appreciate the 5 months of support. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the stream. Lucro says, okay, do we need a sink for diamonds? Depends what you want the game to be, because this game used to be very grindy a long time ago. And then they introduced things that make it less grindy, and some players rejoice, and then other players say, no, it's too easy. It's all a balancing act, and a lot of it is preference. I honestly, like, the way I want to play Minecraft, being able to get all this diamond gear from villages and stuff, it's because I've done that. I've played the game at a time where you used to, like, get diamonds to have backup sets of armor for when you lost yours. And like, when it would break, there was a time where your armor and your tools would break and you'd have to replenish them by mining for more diamonds. And having been so exhausted to, like, having to do that so much, like, I welcome the ease of the game, and it allows you to enjoy other aspects of it a lot more. So it's a real back and forth as to how grindy it should or shouldn't be, I guess. Ninatur says, I've never considered it until now, but I will probably be affected greatly by influencers as well. I bet everyone will be using the same trims as large YouTubers such as Hermits and DSMP players. Yep, that will definitely be a thing. A siesta is the rest after lunch. Some people take a nap, but in most stores in Spain close for some hours during the day, and everyone is taking 2 or 3 hour long break from the workday. Oh, right, cool. I did not know that. Is that like, does that like coincide with the heat, I imagine? Like, if you're living in a hot country, a middle of the day break seems like quite logical if it's getting really hot. Right, there we go. And let's just have a look. Like, yeah, there's still a ways more to go with this project. We can continue cracking on for now. What's next on the list? We've done armor trim. We've got the sniffer and the torch flower. The torch flower, interesting to not make it self-replenishable. I feel like when stuff gets added to this game, it seems to be a common thing that there's a push towards making everything replenishable. So the way in which that is, but through the sniffer, I don't know how the community will receive that. And I don't feel very strongly about it because I've got a feeling it won't be too difficult to farm, and you'll farm in a new and novel way. So I think there's maybe a missed opportunity to make it emit light in a interesting way. This game could always benefit from multiple ways of having light sources, and it just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity not to have that one emit light, given the fact that it's called the torchlight. Seems quite logical. Nembomb says, also, most designs for trims have clues that link them to the structure they're found in. Maybe not all of them are interesting, but all of them have some meaning to where you find them. Yeah, I totally picked up on that, like the Vex design for the mansion and stuff. You can see a bit of the jungle temple design, not the jungle, the desert temple design. Like that pattern comes through. Yeah, that was really quite clear, but maybe one of those things that I just didn't express in my snapshot video. Like, one of the things I do after making a snapshot video is watch other people's snapshot videos, and there's always, like, I'm very self-critical in a weird way, where when I watch other Minecraft content and content creators, I all of a sudden like hear the way they use language and just get really critical of my own like expression and showcase of things. And that's like good and bad. I've learned that like there's a time to pick up on when it's useful to be like, oh, I need to like highlight this thing here. And if I could go back, that would be something that I perhaps should have highlighted more. But other times it's really just a bit of like a negative voice that just rumbles around in there for some reason, you know. Hey, Slice Lime is here! Carl's with the D-Lurk and the gifting of the sub. We got 2 devs in chat. Glad to have you here. I watched Slice Lime's snapshot videos, for example. So, like, part of the fun is, like, after I'm done doing my thing is going and, like, you kind of dig it in a little bit more, like all the new features you've just seen, because people go over it again, you hear other people's opinions on it, and then you pick up on some details you might have missed out on, or yeah, but the thing though is that I always have this critical voice of like, why didn't I explain it like that? But that's part like automatic, like I'm always going to just hear other people's content and sort of mirror it to my own, you know, like the way they express or talk about something. If I watch an episode of like EFO and he's doing redstone, and then I'm just thinking, I'm like analysing the way he's expressing how to make this contraption, and I'm thinking, I need to do better. But like, it's sometimes that's useful, sometimes that's just like a weird creator thing, just being self-critical. Right, Nembom says also, trims are and will be purely cosmetic, meaning the cost to pay is voluntary. I think it's pretty fair. Yeah, that aspect definitely is. And I think if you mixed it with features, which a lot of people have suggested, then I think you get into a bit of tricky territory where those features become a little too muddled with one another. Probably not great to do it that way. So I think that's a spot on way to do it. I think he says, oh my god, I saw someone a while ago that we should have hybridization in all new flowers, and now it's a thing I want most of all. Basically, unlimited flower variations. That sounds awesome idea. Like, yeah, like the flowers have like colors, but then, yes, if you took like the tulip, because there's a few variations of that, right? And then there was a way to hybridize them, and then you get that in-between color. That sounds awesome. That sounds really, I like that idea. That's cool. Very cool. There's that one. Gonna have to get a crafting bench out in a minute. Nembom says the jump from diamond to netherite armor tier is now very slim. Once you get the diamonds for the armor, you can go straight to the netherite. With the current changes, players will spend more time with the diamond before they go full netherite. When you say very slim, don't you mean it's harder to go to netherite? The way I've seen it added up is that it's now netherite was made pricier, right? Unless I got that totally wrong. Which I don't know. There's one thing that netherite has that I think most players want, which is like, it's great that it has this, and it's nice to have something you really have to work for above diamond. I honestly think it's not a terrible thing. Like, some people complain about it because they want the top level armor and then they think it's unfair, you have to grind for it. But I think it's good. But it has this one thing, and that's the fire resistance. The fire resistance is like really, really great. To the point where if you think about it, like, why would you not want that? Like, so many casual players will end up just dying in in lava somehow at some point, right? And that makes it very desirable. If it didn't have that, I think you wouldn't be too worried about the extra tool durability and things like that, especially with mending. Like, they're like mild buffs compared to the fire resistance thing. So that's like the one argument I can think of to say, well, you know, this is actually like really valuable for players that are casual and maybe not so used to the game and get caught out and you know, die in an awkward scenario to lava and lose all of their stuff. That's actually, that would be something that would be really great for them, but it's like, it's there for the players who are much more like established and can do the nether grind and get all of that stuff together. They're the ones that are like less likely to actually suffer that fate. It's interesting how that works out, but I don't think that's a reason to change it, just an observation more than anything. Slice Lime says, I think many content creators are very self-critical because that's part of what made them excellent at what they do. Yeah, I think it would be very likely for most. Just trying to think, like, I've had lots of conversations with content creators, but like, that you don't always go to places like of expressing how like self-critical you can be with your own content, but it would not be surprising, I guess. I can certainly say that I am very like self-critical with what I do. It's almost like a reflex to be self-critical, because you're constantly creating and then sort of evaluating, is that good enough? Do you have a list somewhere of your resource pack? Yes, I do. It's on linktree.xisumavoid.co. If you go there, you will find a link to my resource pack. It is a list of links. They all have little icons. It shouldn't take you too much effort to find the one that is my resource pack. Also, my mod pack too. That mod pack is a Hermitcraft mod pack, meaning if you set it up as a server, you'll have the same setup as Hermitcraft has. Which is pretty cool. Being self-critical is a massive part of many professional creatives. Takes up a large part of my thinking too, says Anathra. Yeah, that's sounds very much so. I watch some series every now and then, like on Netflix, about creative people. I'm watching one at the moment, and that's like a common theme that comes up, is just that self-criticalness. We still have the cherry biome and sniffer to go, if I remember correctly. Yep, that's also on my list. Oh yeah, we didn't really do sniffer. We did torch flower. So the sniffer's pretty cool. I don't know. I have too many strong thoughts on it really. It's like a big cool mob, and you'll go on a little adventure with it to find some seeds. I don't know if anything else is planned for it, but you know, so far pretty cool, right? How do I get out of here? What's my plan right now? I don't have a plan. I think it might just make the most sense to break these 2 blocks, or 3, and then get out this way. Not like that. And then this should all repair. Then we've got to wait to link up the next one. Torches, they're in my offhand. Put one there. Right, so our cactus farm has been buffed like over double. The next one that I'll build was going to be over here, but you can see that this is going to get in the way pretty quick. I might end up building it above this big room. But yeah, we got more cactus coming in. What else is on my list? Like, I think that's enough cactus for today. We installed the beacon switch. We got the elevator to build. We actually did the TCG trades. That was cool. Oh yeah, glow squid ink. Let's go to the glow squid farm and do a little experiment over there. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. Hydrate, kind of. Chat, what do you think about the sniffer? Athenian Wizard says, Xisuma, with casual, what do you mean? People that don't grind 6 hours at a time, or people who don't bother progressing to the diamond gear forever? I think I'm talking about players that don't put the same sort of time in as someone like not even myself. Like, I mean casual as in, like, you just play a bit here and there, right? Like, you don't do crazy stuff like build mega bases and loads of grindy stuff. You know, your play style is much more restricted by how much time you put into it. Like, if you come to Hermitcraft and you're like, wow, like, these guys are amazing, but you might also think, you know, and they're full-time YouTubers, so they like can put hours into this every single day. right? Like it really changes the dynamic of what you do in this game when you have so much more time to put into it. Hey, Dead Girl 13, thank you ever so much for subscribing. Appreciate you doing that. Welcome to the stream. Like 1 to 2 hours a week versus 1 to 2 hours a day, says Delta. I was thinking more like 1 to 2 hours a day versus, I don't know, 6 to 8 or something. But yeah, you know, a few hours a week, I think is probably the way to think of it. Personally, I love the sniffer. I love building gardens, so the new Flora will be awesome. Nembom says, pink petal flowers. I really like how it can be placed quite intuitively in 16 different combinations, creating elaborate designs on the ground. Yep, took the words out of my mouth. That was a very nicely done thing. It was described in one of the posts as being a carpet, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. There's going to be like a carpet block that sort of looks different. I don't know if it's going to be treated as being a part of that category, let's say, but it is really nicely done. Yeah, very nicely done. Need to put this gold in my valuables. I need to get some black glass going. I've got one right there. That'll do. Chuck all this stuff. The stone I should really separate, otherwise it will just back up. Yeah, let's get rid of all the stone stuff, put that in storage. Didn't I have a yellow box of sand with me? Oh, that ended up back in here. That was like bulk sand. That goes up top. Do not read. Aha, I got you. You're totally right, Coles. Good idea. I'm always excited about free content, says Evil Freak. Yeah. These updates are free still. How cool is that? Jeez. That's something we forget. Don't have to pay for these updates. They just keep coming. Oh, turns out I have a fair bit over... maybe not so much. Any more lying around? So... I don't think I've even got a lot of plain glass left anywhere. Grab that. Didn't I put the sand one out somewhere? Anyway. I have a box of junk on me. Wait, I'll leave that there, didn't I? Get some more ender pearls while I'm here. Chapter Corey, thank you so much for 31 months. Appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for the support. So yeah, the sniffer. I don't know. I've been looking at chat. I feel like the sniffer maybe just needs another feature or something. I don't know. It's certainly not doing anything wrong. I think if I remember correctly, the way it was described, it sounds like the process of growing it, like an egg, might be an interesting activity. So if that can be done, that would be a good feature for it to expand on. Have a little fun, do something a little different. X, how do you have those icons for shulkers? Says W20MC. Great question. It's a combination of a resource pack and a mod. The mod just like enables you to do like extra stuff with the resource packs, and then the resource pack that I've enabled puts the item on top of the shulker like that. And what I'm working on doing, because I've had permission from the hermits, is to get this to display on top of a box when it's placed in the world, like this, so that little storage area up there can show you the icons, and then that'll really be some awesome like power play with it. Because for me, organization in this game, the amount of time you spend like walking around and just moving items about and Like you do have to like consider it in your playstyle, but sometimes you just want things to be a bit easier, and it's something I identified as like being incredibly helpful. Like it really speeds stuff up when you look at that and you immediately like can suss out. There's my totems of undying, right? And I just need that in the world up the top here, and then it'll feel really complete. Because when I come over here and look at this, like if I need a material, it's all catalogued. But I kind of have to guess by colour at the moment, and so I want to change that so I can... Oh yeah, you've got to check this out, by the way. That's a bug that's going to get fixed, but it's actually animated. Because it's using the wrong texture. So anyway, that's been fixed in one of the resource packs. Right, let's go do an experiment, and I guess I'm going to have to come back and get some more glass. Curl says, I love the plants, the images Roger Badgerman leaked. Yeah, they look really ambitious and an interesting complement to what we've already seen. But we don't know when they're going to get added and if they're legit, I guess. Right, so we've discussed everything now except the cherry tree and the biome. The cherry tree, I'm not entirely convinced. Oh, Slice Lime says, I saw someone suggested trims for shulker boxes. I found that kind of interesting. If you could customize them to help you understand what's in them more, that would definitely be cool. Definitely be cool. Or maybe something like an enchantment, right? That then just displays the item. Here's the thing, I've already got the flat shulker box thing going on, which isn't default either, so maybe actually that my like item on the box thing doesn't really translate. So right, check this out. When we stand here, we have like visual glitches with the glass, and I was just thinking if I put in an extra layer of glass, I think we can make that go away. The only issue is, oh actually, I think I can kind of like jump back and forth like this. Let's go stand here for a second, because we'll be in water when we do that. Yeah, okay, that really clearly shows us what the issue is. Is this a chunk board? Yeah, of course it is. I probably won't be able to get rid of the one in the middle, sadly. But all these other ones around the edge, it might be possible to get rid of those. So we'll do an experiment. Unpopular opinion, I don't really like the extravagant new animations. Warden, Camel, Sniffer. I prefer the simplicity of classic mobs. Maybe I'm just old school and resistant to change, says the Thinky. I don't mind there being a mix, but I think it'd be cool just to add something that's a little more old school and simple from time to time. But anyway, onto the cherry tree. I gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I can't deny it looks good, and the cherry wood is really nice. Actually, the cherry wood's super cool. But it's I think it's something with the leaves. The leaves just don't feel right. I can't really put my finger on it, perhaps. What are we seeing here? We're seeing the glow squids, and they're messing with the lighting. So what I got to do here is like get in and get out quick. So quickly grab that. No LA swam up. That's the important thing. So if we do a quick experiment down at this level, right? Like we can see all of that. So what happens when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and get rid of that one? Does that fix it? I think it does. Not sure. I think it might be better to work from the top down to do this. Oh, have I also now ruined the water here? I probably have, haven't I? Dang it! Gonna have to go place some water source blocks there before I forget. Maybe this wasn't worth messing with. That one. Does the cherry biome replace the meadows like mangroves with swamps? When we say replace, we mean like it'll generate where those generated, essentially. I should sort of fix it back up again. I'm wondering if this is even worth it. So if I go and extend like all of this out here, because if I put those there, It still creates. I think it's still creating a weird visual glitch. No, I don't think it's actually going to fix it. You know, I don't think it will. Sadly, because it creates like a blue thing underneath it. So if I bring it out to, I'd have to bring it all the way out over here and then do the next bit again. It'd be a bit much. One thing it might be worth doing though is perhaps reducing, like, although we've got this nice sphere effect which we could keep, if I filled in a lot of this space down here, the items from the glow squids will spend less time doing this where they slowly come up, and then that just means the allays pick the items up a little quicker, but it's probably not really worth it. Probably not a big deal. Right, okay, well, that was an experiment that didn't turn out to be so great. So, I guess I'll cross that one off my list as well. Okay, now we need a way out of here. I use this cheaty cam thing so much now, it's just super helpful. Like that. Quick, quick, don't let them escape. Nice, they didn't escape. This farm is fun, that's the best way to define it, says Dev. Yeah, it's a fun farm. Yeah, Nembom says cherry ghost slots somewhere in the meadows would be previously. So yeah, something like that. Yeah, Slice Nembom, if you have any questions you want to throw to our chat, please do, because I've gone through all the things now, I think. Yeah, I didn't elaborate too much on the cherry tree. I mean, the shape of the tree is cool. Always like a new tree type. I like the wood, the textures. It's just the leaves. I think it's the leaves. There's something about them. I like the way they drip particles, but you know when people say like that's modded or whatever. I don't like that. Like, I read those comments. There's a bunch of new stuff, and people go, "Oh, feels so modded." And a lot of the time, it's like, well, of course it will, because it's added something to the game, right? But I think there's another way you can use that, which is that a lot of mods don't try to follow the Minecraft aesthetic or principles. So sometimes saying this feels modded might be a comment about how it doesn't really fit into Minecraft, which I don't think is true of pretty much 99% of how the game's been developed. Because you can fire up some mod packs that really just change the whole dynamic of what playing Minecraft is, right? But something about those leaves, they just remind me of like when you play a mod pack and it feels like this isn't trying to fit in. You know, this sometimes you'll get textures where maybe they're like a different resolution, or the principle of the texture is just completely flat, or there's something very different, and it feels modded because it's not trying to fit in with vanilla. And those leaves, I don't know, they give me that feeling. But maybe they'll just grow on me, you know? Slice says it's impossible to change the game in any way without getting this isn't different enough or this feels modded. True, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of stuff that's new that gets added doesn't really evoke that feeling of like this feels modded. I mean, as I said, like I separate that there is modding the game as in you're adding something to it, but then there's also modding as in modders who create mods where they're not trying to fit in with Minecraft. Like if they add something like a magic mod, right? Sometimes it's the aesthetics, they just don't follow Minecraft's principles. Or the play style is just completely different, they've turned it all on its head. That's what I'm getting at, and I feel like the leaves just go a little in that direction. I guess we're not going to need that glass after all, right? Although I probably will need it for finishing our elevator. I think Slice is referring to the community reaction. Yeah, probably, okay. Anyway, let's have a little love in the chat for our Mojang devs for taking the time out of their day to listen to us and gather some feedback about 1.20. You know, this game is getting updated for free over and over again. How awesome is that? There's way too much negativity sometimes in this community. And we've got a fantastic team of devs keeping the game going, keeping it going strong, you know? So yeah, show them some love. And yeah, thanks guys for popping in. I think I've exhausted myself with Minecraft talk for one day. But hopefully I got you a lot to think about there. I might go do a bit of redstone, peeps. I put something on my list that I thought I might be able to tackle. Wasn't entirely sure if I could or not, but it is a shulker box loader. I was just thinking, in general, this should be kind of simple-ish. And I know that I've seen them before. There's certain blocks that you want to use. And there's definitely also certain quirks that are going to be a bit annoying and tricky to work with. Oh, I wish I'd have thought of this earlier, but while we had some devs here, it would have been a good idea to show this old thing off, right? My block swapping solutions works in survival too, but I didn't. Oh, why is that showing up on that one? That's weird. Bugs. Maybe another time. But yeah, this also. Well, actually, I'm gonna pop back now. I really should have thought of that sooner. Dang it! How can I make a quick demonstration? Sand, brilliant. So like, look, I've got some smooth sandstone, right? And I got this in my inventory. So if I just let's put it over here, pretend it's not there. If I just do this, oh look at that! I can access all of these blocks because they're actually in that shulker box. So like I can swap it for sand, I can swap it for sandstone, chisel sand. You know, it's just swapping them in and out of that. There's also options. Move the current item in hand to a free slot in the inventory or a container. This is the last item you swapped. Select it to grab it again. Fill up item stacks in the inventory using items from the container. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of those, but one of the common things in this game is you're placing lots of blocks, you run out. So like, let's take 28 of those. Just give them a little replenish over here. Bam, I've got 56. Pretty cool, right? Also, I can swap my shulker boxes. I can swap my tools if I had any more. This is all I got on these lists, though. Yeah, what was the last one on there? Open the inventory to access items and containers. I'm not sure if that one's working correctly. Like, you can do this when you got a free slot. You can just look at your inventory quickly like that and pick something. Very fast. There it is. Bam. Firework rocket. Really cool ideas. And Tango's been using it too. Is Tango still on? Tango's on. Tango's been making use of this. And TR9 ZW is here themselves. Good to see you, my dude. Thank you for using that Prime sub. Yeah, just having an opportunity to show off the thing that we've made to the devs. Wait, what are they saying about middle click it? I've totally forgotten about middle clicking as well, right? So maybe glass is a good demonstration of that. So like if let's get this in my inventory. If I do that and then middle click, we will switch to this alternative palette, right? You can sort of jump in and out of those different materials. There's an empty slot there, that's because of tinted glass. There's also this, navigate back to the previous palette. But yeah. So that's a mod that I've been using and getting better at remembering to use, despite not using it today. I guess with the task we were doing, it wasn't particularly necessary, but when you're building, it's kind of massive. I meant middle clicking the open inventory button or shulker on the inventory. Oh, okay. What does that do then? I'm not sure what that does. I'm probably going to do something wrong now. Middle clicking works with it. Oh! Did the server just crash? Was that because I middle clicked? Could that be linked? Oh my days. Let's go find out what's going on with that. Server's rebooting. Doesn't look like there's an issue here. Oh, and I don't have the crash log there, so seems like everyone's logging back on just fine. Weird. I won't do it again now, but I will do it at another point in time just in case it is related. You never know. Do custom stuff, who knows what's going to happen. This is one of those points that I make about like modding versus you know, developing for Mojang. It's so easy to go like, ah, why can't Mojang do that? But then it's like, well, it's a totally different level of thing, you know? Like this is a mod, like it's gonna have quirks and stuff like that. Anyone who's like properly played with mod packs, not so much these days, but definitely back in the day, y'all know we used to put up with a lot of naffness playing mods and mod packs. Like they'd crash a lot and there'd be all sorts of bugs and issues, and yet somehow people forget like how it's like that sometimes. This thing can be an out of sight shulker box loader. I don't actually need to like see it in action or anything like that. Right, I don't need two hoppers on here, do I? So I'm thinking that you're gonna have you want it enclosed, right? And then you're gonna have yourself pulling out a signal here. And then somewhere you're gonna want a hopper pointing into it. So hopefully that, like, all enclosed. And oh, then you're going to want a dispenser. This might be a little more awkward than I thought. Don't they make these one wide? How do they make them one wide? I don't know how they make them one wide. Because you need a hopper below, a piston above, a hopper pointing in, and a dispenser. You need 5. You also need that, so you need 5 things, right? If I'm not mistaken. Push the shulker box forward with the piston. Oh, is that one of those quirks? You have to remember quite a few quirks with this thing. So that's supposed to go that way. So maybe that goes there. If it goes forward, does that mean that maybe we can do it like this, where soul sand is the next one over? Because now all of a sudden it looks a bit more doable. The only thing is getting the signal. Maybe you don't need a signal. You need to know when it's full. So like, how do they make these one wide? I know they make them one wide. Piston on the side of the shulker to push it into a hopper 1 block over, yes. Right, we've got that bit, but then how do you get the signal out of the... Can you pull it through? You can't pull it through a hopper, can you? Sorry, a piston. That's not a thing. See, that's not a thing. Check when the hopper backs up, says Spooky Dokie. Ah, smart thinking, smart thinking. So that would mean maybe we have that there. Wow, okay. I don't need it to be tileable, but it's just kind of interesting to know. Interesting to know. So when that backs up, then what's going to happen? We're going to push this thing out, so... Something like that. Goes back into there. Pushes it across. Then on a delay. Yeah, definitely on a delay. I'll give it a big delay, but yeah. The only thing then is if this is backed up, this needs to be a little different because we can't have it stay on because then the piston is extended. So it probably needs to be more like I wonder if I can just have it there. Right, let you detect the change in the thing. Actually, it'll do that a lot, because items will flow through there into that, won't it? Will it pick up on that? Chest isn't on this list. Chest would be nice. It's a very redstone-y thing to interact with. So let's say you got a bunch of items there. Yeah, see, they get detected coming through. You can push it into the comparator without breaking the comparator, I mean. Oh! So that could be here. Very interesting. But then you would need the the thing on the side, right? The signal strength to deduct it. So how would that work if you wanted it to be one wide? I know there are one wide designs. I'm sure that's the thing. Lock the hopper above feeding into it. Okay, so if we go back to this idea, then we're saying that needs to be locked. Redstone is difficult. No, wait, this can be done, because you can go like that. No, there's that doesn't lock it, though. So you want the piece of redstone dust to be there. But then you want to get the signal from over here, and the signal's going to be weak. Lock the hopper above feeding into it, with a pulse to break the shulker. Yeah, this no longer does something like that. So, problem is if you power that there, then this, so that doesn't make sense. So get an update. Another hopper where the chest is, and lock that hopper. Oh, right, okay. So you double up. And that's the one that gets locked. That means we could probably do that, actually. So now it's a case of... Wait, does this thing even detect them coming through? It does. Then it locks that. But this one's still pulling. Interesting. So maybe it's not that one. Maybe it is actually this one here. Then that doesn't let any items in. No, that can't be the way to do it. Right, all the items are gone. Let's put some in. Hey, we're being raided by Tango! Tango of the Tech! Welcome all the raiders to the stream. Thank you for the raid, Tango. I was just showing off the old this mod right here just a minute ago. Now we're trying to do redstone, and I'm just immensely confused by it. Look, items are actually going through, but then this one here only ever has 2, and then all the items went through, and it turned off. Hang on. So let's put something in the chest above. Yeah, that's kind of not what we want. I can't remember the last time Tango raided Xisuma. Wow. I think Tango raided me just a while ago. Anyway, y'all are probably here for some Hermitcraft, right? I think I'll probably pop back on and do this another time. Treebor, Railback, thank you so much for 16 months. Appreciate your subscription, my dude. Thank you for supporting the channel. We were trying to build a shulker box unloader, and I know these have been done like in one wide configurations, but I just don't know what the logic is. Probably give that a shot another time. Let's get back on Hermitcraft. Yeah, I don't know if Tango was using it. Let me know, chat. Was Tango using the old, this old block swapper mod? Let's head over to, Shulkerbox. Oh, wait. Shulkerbox. The, Guardian farm that we're working on. Get some more rockets, too. Rocket in my pocket. We got Craolian. 23 months! Thank you so much. Appreciate your support, my dude. He was not. He's not sure how to use it. What? It's easy. I don't know. I'll speak to him about it. Efo just did a one wide shipment unloaded in his last LP episode. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, he did do that. I sometimes, you know, when I watch a Minecraft episode, you're just kind of like watching while you do something else, you know. Alright, so here is my Guardian farm project. Here's the dealio. I built one over there, and now we're building a better one over here. That's the idea. So, yeah. 2 at One Ocean Monument, and here's the real kicker. Haven't even gotten rid of the Elder Guardians. Haven't even gone inside. Is that another one? No, it's a bit of land. Haven't even gone inside the monument. That's how crazy this farm is. Wow, am I really that low? Oh, but I got some more here. Well, I got more glass back at my base, but dang. That ain't a lot. I don't think it's even worth placing it. I'm going to go see what they're doing over at the... well, let's place that and then go see what they're doing at the TCG arena. Barely worth placing this. Just look on the Storage Tech Discord. Has ever sort of loader and unloader you could ever want. Hang on, I'm struggling here. Gonna miss it. Gonna miss it. I didn't even know that was a thing, but that sounds cool. Xisuma, do you think a redstone type block that can auto craft ingots, prismarine shards, bamboo into full blocks is a simple, more accessible way to storage efficiently? I would like to play the game with that, like a crafting bench that works with hoppers and stuff, but I've got a feeling it's probably not the sort of thing they're going to bring into the game. Oh, we're actually this high up. I didn't realise we were that close. Dang. Good thing I checked, right? Oh, that actually needs to be... Okay, so these ones here. So yeah, previously we used the old oscillation of the Guardian on slime blocks to bring them up. This time we're doing it the more familiar way, let's say. Like an auto compressor, says Keen Magic. Maybe if you set the rule of like it only does a certain type of crafting recipe. Yeah, maybe like simple recipes can be automated as a good approach for it. Well, it's a good thing I went and mined loads of sand just the other day, because I'm going to need it, right? Going to need to get way more glass for this project. So yeah, once we've done this bit, get the last of these in. Oh, I guess there's quite a few of them, isn't there? Once we get all of this in, they're going to drop down onto a stone generator. It's going to be even more advanced and faster than this one right here, which was an interesting challenge, not for me. Cybot put all the stuff together. But I don't think anyone's designed it so that you can have a stone generator that pushes the stone in super fast. So we've got that. So we're going to have the Guardians come up and drop down even faster, and then have a real OP skulk farm. At least that's the plan for this project that I'm working on. Anyway, peeps, if you're enjoying the stream and you want to catch more Hermitcraft streams in the future, be sure to hit the follow button over here on Twitch. I've been pretty much just streaming Hermitcraft all the time lately. I was trying to do like some variety more often, but I just haven't really felt like playing any other games lately. Just play Minecraft. I'm already addicted and I'm not playing TCG. Fans need an IRL HC TCG game. There is one. Well, not IRL, but there's a online one that's pretty darn amazing. I need to look into getting one set up for my community here to play. The last time I was here, you were playing Inscription. Dang, that was an amazing game, right? Ilmango has some stone farm that pushes the blocks as fast as the player can instant mine with efficiency 5 and haste 2. Oh, interesting. I did not know. Well, we've got something similar put together, I guess. Yeah, it might not be quite the same thing, because if you're pushing blocks in for a player to mine, like directly in front of them in a straight line, you can push in from this direction, that direction, right? The one we've got just pushes it in from two sides to create the platform for the skulk. So it might not translate in the same way, essentially. Oh, no one's over here. Oh, it's only Cub online. Well, Wells was on earlier. I was going to come say hello to Wells and see him play TCG, but it looks like that's not happening anymore. Let's go check out Cub's arena, by the way. It's absolutely incredible. The TCG hype has got me playing Pokemon TCG. Yeah, I really want to play that because I got loads of Pokemon cards, but no one's ever interested in playing Pokemon. This bridge here feels new. There goes a wild Cub fan, peeps. Look at this. Pyramids. How very cool. Look at all these shulker boxes. Resources. Why is there so much diamond armor lying around? Yeah, let's go in. Look at this. Beautiful place. Very Cub fan. If you showed this to me, I'd immediately think Cub fan built this. Just always such bold use of colour. That's Cub style. Bold use of colour. Really great aesthetics. Look at the Never Stars. Oh, I don't think they were there last time I was here. Yeah, it's a really amazing build. Oh, there's a little bit of light that comes in the top. That's cool. Awesome, right? The Never Stars really are just everywhere. Dang. Yeah, Beef's working on a map where all of this can be displayed on like one item tile. And then also I've been sort of investigating with the help of some redstoners. Oh dang, I broke something. The idea of creating a display screen. Let me show you it. Yuki Konsa, thank you ever so much for the tier 3 subscription. As a tier 3 subscriber, you can go to my website xisumavoid.com. On the left side of the screen you can click on get whitelisted and join our community. Spokey's over here building one. Oh dang. Oh yeah, use the extra bit of redstone signal strength, I see. That's cool, Spokey. Why no soul sand though? I thought soul sand was the thing you had to use with these. I don't know. So somewhere around here, there it is. This right here could quite possibly be the most compact display that you could create, right? Now all you need to really change is the 2 and the 5. I want to make a change here, by the way. Let's replace polished andesite with redstone lamps. I think that is easier to look at. That is easier to read, isn't it? I think that's easier to read than when you have the polished blocks around the outside. So, if you can build, like, if you can build the redstone for this stuff in this kind of space, you don't need the 0, it'll always be 0. So like, if you can fit it all into there, the 7-segment display, and it can update quickly, then my question is, would an arena benefit from having this? It's a bit over the top and massive. It's the one, the only, it's May School 95 months! Closing in on that epic 100. Thank you for all you do, May School. Appreciate ya. And I still haven't got anything. I don't know what I'm going to do for the big 100. I'll figure something out in time. It'll probably be like, if I can, like a new icon, like a special 100 club. Maybe like a, I don't know, an even eviler Evil X. Evil X, you know? It's massive, lol. Some of you saying it's too much. I would look at that and I would be tempted, because when you're down in the arena playing the game and like you can kind of see all of it. So if you can get 2 of those side by side, right? The next thing is, okay, if that display works, what's the fastest way you can update it? And I think, I mean, I'm not sure if it is or it isn't, but I reckon like a stack, would this actually be that fast? Like, you want the values, 300, you know, all the different values, throw the item into the hopper, and then a filter picks it out and tells it to update. I'm not sure that would be terribly fast. Adding and subtracting is also another way, but you need an interface, maybe a lectern, changing the pages of the lectern. Like, if you can get a really fast way to update that stuff, that could be good. Speaking of which, I don't know why I didn't think of that one before, but on this side you have 1 to 3, on this one you have like 9 to 10. Okay, but then you need that 5 times over. And the question of like being able to pull the signal out here is another one. This is starting to look too big and bulky, right? Maybe that's not the way to do it. But can you get all of those in to a space? Right, let's use some color coding. So, terracotta. Okay. Yep. Then the next color, like, as long as you can distinguish them, having all of these in a row, like, is that too big of an interface? You know, that's the next set of questions. Is like, can you also make it really easy for the player to know what one they're changing? I mean, the color here, you could also attach the color to the side of the screen, perhaps. So, like, you've got a marker that sort of makes it clear. That's that one. So then you need to change. Let's get the book and the quill out here. I'm really getting into this. Right, so then it's like, oh, player 2, you know, need to knock your health down 50. You come in here, you turn the pages. We can put something nice and big in the middle that tells you what the value is, that kind of thing. But the key goal is to look for speed and ease of use and like the smallest interface. And if you can go from there. Maybe a data pack / mod. That is another possibility I've not thought of. I don't know if that's as favourable. I like that we can do it without that. One lectern with 250 pages. You don't want 250, you want 25, but the limit is 15, I think. It only outputs 15 signal strength, which is why I defaulted to 2 of these. That's kind of like great. If it could do 25, that would be an amazing solution, but it's just 15. And you need 0 to 30, so is that actually 31? Lucro says, just going to be honest, just using the maps might be the fastest and easiest method. It might be, but like, there's no harm in exploring other possibilities, right? I think if you look at that screen and you think that works, then you can probably find an interface that's like pretty good at swapping them around. You don't need to display 0, says Martin Pedler. Yeah, you do, because that's how much health they have. What you don't do is build the redstone behind it. They're just always 0, right? Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to show you that. I can't remember what we were doing on Hermitcraft, and I have something wedged in my mind that I was going to... Oh, yeah. Okay, we were exploring this, and then there was a message here I thought would be a nice note to end on. So, Nambobet says, X, you're a huge role model for me, and have been for years. In your opinion, how hard would it be for someone to reach your level of success making Minecraft videos on YouTube? First of all, like, I really appreciate your nice message. I feel really odd about being called a role model. Never really liked that term, but I always want to put out something positive and good into the world, and maybe that's what that is. Is Cub.
Hello, X.
Hey Cub, how's it going?
It's going well. You logged in like 2 blocks from me.
Yeah,
It's like, whoa, suddenly it's Xisuma.
suddenly here. I was showing off your incredible arena, and
Yeah,
then
it just opened, Xisuma. It just opened.
it just opened. I went in there and had a little sneak peek. It's amazing.
Awesome.
The Never
awesome,
Stars,
awesome.
man.
Yeah. That's big thanks to Tango for those. He
Yeah.
donated a bunch to me for that.
They weren't here last time I was here because I came like earlier in the day. I don't remember seeing the Never Stars, but then this time I was like, "Am I getting that
Oh,
right?
very
Did you add them? Did you add them this morning?"
I added them. I added them before. Yeah, pretty like within the last day or so. Yeah, sometime.
Did I see this yesterday or the day? I really feel like I came here and there weren't Never Stars, but yeah, they're amazing. They make it really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, they make it shine a little bit. They make it shine. Do you want to play a game, X? Do you want to play a game?
I kind of do, but it's getting late and my chat is asking for a game.
Okay.
I might pop back on after my stream and give you a match. Actually,
Alright.
I know I won't have time because I haven't even sorted out my deck yet.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, no
But
problem, man.
we'll have a game soon. But I want to suggest something to you. Have a
Sure.
think about this. Do you think the game might be a little more interesting if instead of having 5 hermits in play, you could only have 3?
Maybe. Yeah. It could be a little interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because I've been watching and I noticed that like one of the strategies that I'm seeing in most of the decks is that you want to sort of like maximize your ability to absorb damage, right? And get another hermit out and swap them over and get another one out and stay in the game. So I kind of thought maybe having just only 3 out in total might kind of change the dynamics, but who
Yeah,
knows?
that could absolutely change the dynamic. I think it would change drastically, like what effect cards you use, and what
Yeah,
attacks
you could
play.
change your deck to suit it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, like we're gonna have so much fun with this game over the rest of the season, right? Like all the variations on rules we can use to spice it up and whatnot. So
Yeah. And I think Beef. I was talking with Beef earlier. He said he might allow like some custom rules in different arenas. Like maybe
I like that idea.
certain types of things are stronger in certain arenas, or he has like special ability in certain arenas or something like that. So yeah.
I've got some ideas, so I'm definitely gonna do something with my arena. But dude, you knocked it out of the park with this one, man. It's so cool. I love
Cheers,
it.
man. Yeah. It's based off of the redstone you made, and I just added on to that. So.
Oh yeah.
thanks
I'm
for
doing my
that.
cheaty cam. You got the redstone all installed down here as well, so that's pretty awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All
man.
right, Cub. I'll tell you now. I don't think I'll come back because I got to sort out my deck and I've been at the computer all day. But maybe tomorrow we can have a game.
Absolutely. That'd be great. I'd love
Cool.
that.
See you around,
Cheers,
my
X.
dude.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Well, that was nice. Logged in right next to Cub. So we had that message. In your opinion, how hard would it be for someone to reach your level of success making Minecraft videos on YouTube? I don't think it's working hard that means you reach this level of success. I think if you work hard at something, you are more likely to end up with a result like this. If you imagine like a demographic, let's say 100 YouTubers achieving this level of success, I reckon a small amount of them, maybe 1 to 5, do it without working hard, right? And the other 95, they work hard for it. But if you imagine a demographic of 1 million people like working hard for something, how many of them become YouTubers? It might be a handful. So like, there's no guarantee. I can't tell you have to work hard to succeed at this because it is creativity, it is artistic, it is subjective. There are many different overlapping skills, your ability to communicate, video editing, how you present things. And, you can put hard work, into banging your head against a wall. You can do the wrong thing over and over again. Or you can put hard work into things that are really valuable, like expanding your skill set and learning this, that, and the other. So it's smart work as well as hard work, but there's no guarantee of what the outcome will be. It's going to be luck. And for me, I got really lucky to decide to make videos in a moment where I could present it to the community and the community responded. Because I'm one of those YouTubers that just hit the ground running. My first video got like 1,000 views within a week or something, which was insane back then for me, just starting out. And I really did just, you know, by the time I had 10 videos, I was growing my channel and it just kept going. It doesn't happen for everyone. It doesn't happen for everyone. You can work really hard, you can have a dream. I didn't have a dream, I just lucked into this and then it became a whole thing. So what you need hard work, but you need luck. And you need to kind of have a grip on what you're doing. Like, if you chase something like, I want to be a YouTuber, you might not realize that I didn't want to be a YouTuber. It just kind of happened because I was interested in doing Minecraft. So, if you want to be a YouTuber because you think this is glamorous, that's probably not going to work out. But if you're really passionate about the thing that you're going to do on YouTube, doesn't have to be making Minecraft videos, maybe you like painting. Like, your passion should really be the thing that you pursue. And then if you work really hard at it and you don't succeed, you're doing the thing that you're passionate about, so you can't lose. So what I would say is it's not about the success. It's about finding what you want to do and working hard and smart at it and being motivated and, you know, dedicating yourself to something that fulfills you and that's passionate. If you want to chase success, like doing this job for numbers would be the worst job ever. I tell you right now, like the amount of hours I put into what I do and the amount of hard work I've done to get to where I am now, it's a real sacrifice. It's a real thing to do. But it's also something I love doing. So if you're chasing numbers, you're going to really struggle. So don't make it about success. Find what it is that inspires you, that you love doing, that fulfills you, and work really hard at it. Because you can't go wrong if you're doing the thing that fulfills you, and if it becomes a success, then that's terrific if those stars align like that. But yeah, don't chase the numbers. Like, that's the wrong way to go about it. By the way, Kanye Twitty resubscribed for 3 months as well. Thank you so much, my dude. Peeps, if you enjoyed today's stream, be sure to hit that follow button. I'll be streaming some more Hermitcraft again sometime soon. And if you're looking for something else to do, swing by my website, linktree.xisumavoid.co. There's a whole bunch of stuff for you to check out there if you haven't swung by before. It's all things to be discovered, like guitar videos and whatnot. And right now we'll do a raid. I'm just looking for someone to raid, right? Just looking for someone to raid. I'll send you over to let's do a random Minecraft channel today. Do a random Minecraft channel. Good to support the community, right? Let's go. Wow, there's a lot of people streaming Minecraft today. I can feel it. Just the amount of viewers here. Alright, I'm going to send you over to Crip today. Just supporting a random Minecraft channel. So I hope you enjoy what you find, and I will be off. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.